Phyllis Diller, author of Like a Lampshade in a Whorehouse, you've been summoned to jury duty. Alonzo Bodden, winner of The Last Comic Standing Season 3, you've been summoned to jury duty. International performer and actress currently starring in Sometimes I Cry, Sheryl Lee Ralph, you've been summoned to jury duty. The only court show where celebrity jurors decide the outcome of your case. Jury duty. Don't even try getting out of it.
All rise. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Judge, Bruce Cutler, presides.
Thank you. Good day to everyone. Please be seated. Good day to our special jurors. How could it be that a mother would be suing her daughter? How could it be that a daughter would be fighting a suit brought by a mother? Let me ask you, Ms. Sanchez, you brought the suit against your daughter, yes, dear?
Yeah.
You sold her a car, 1999 Cadillac,
Yes.
And you sold it for $5,000?
Yes.
Something happened that made your relationship and your relationship with regard to the car go awry.
Correct.
Could you tell me and the jurors what that was?
When it came to the first payment, she declined to make her payment. We were going to baptize my children, and that my payment would be for Disneyland tickets.
Had she given you the $1,000 down payment
Yes.
back in March of '07?
She had.
Did she attempt to give you a $200 payment thereafter, pursuant to the $5,000 purchase price?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And as a result of that, what led you to come here? This is what I want the
Because
jurors
she told me that I had a tenant and that I was very lenient with him, and why was I not lenient with her? So in return, she made me feel guilty, and I tore up the $200 payment check that she had given me.
You didn't feel guilty because
Well, I'll tell you, Miss Flores.
She told me that I was a sucker for my tenant, and why wasn't I a sucker for her?
How do you answer this lawsuit? Did you agree to buy the car?
Yeah, yes.
And was the purchase price $5,000?
Yes.
Did you make a $1,000 payment?
Yes, but
Did
it
you
was
try to
after-
make a $200 payment?
Yes.
And now what brings you here, dear?
Originally, she tried to sell me the vehicle for $10,000 because that's what she got it for.
A 1999
Yeah.
Cadillac.
So I went and researched
Leather
it.
interior, Your
Well,
Honor.
That's-
Ms. Plaintiff, let me just hear from your daughter so then I could focus. Go ahead.
So when I researched it, it came out to a $5,000 vehicle in good condition.
So did you make a good faith agreement with your mother to buy it for $5,000?
Yes, after a lot of arguing and walking away from it and then coming back, we agreed upon $5,000.
Is there a contract for sale or an agreement in writing that I can look at?
Yes.
That Sergeant Yu can bring up to me? Everything in order, in good faith with the,
Yes, Your
the
Honor,
agreement, with the
but
written agreement?
she got a steal. It also has low jack.
I don't understand.
She
I
lives
haven't
in a
driven
raunchy
a car in a long
neighborhood.
time.
Everybody steals where she lives.
That
Well,
is
ma'am,
not-
so
She's lucky she hasn't had her car stolen.
So really
Oh
what
my
you're saying is
God. It's
that
got low jack.
So the
That
car
low
is
jack
worth even
a lot of
more
money, yes.
than $5,000. But you, in good faith, with your daughter, agreed to sell her the car.
Exactly.
Your daughter made the down payment. Your daughter tried to pay the monthly payments. Then something went awry, and then all of a sudden you initiated a lawsuit for the balance of the $4,000.
Yes,
And there was another caveat, and keep this in mind so you can answer it. You wanted to be paid in United States currency only,
course.
only cash.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take a check.
For
wouldn't
her
take an
checks
IOU.
bounced, Your Honor.
They've never bounced.
She told
Dear-
me that
dear, look at me.
my bank honors me more than her.
Ms. Flores, did you have a difficulty in trying to generate the cash to pay your mother? Or was it that you felt giving her cash would leave you no record of the
The
payment?
Clippers have nothing on her.
Who
She
are they?
bounces more than the Clippers.
The basketball team?
Exactly.
And here in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
So what do you say to that, Ms. Flores?
I wanted to keep a record of my payments.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you certainly gave Sergeant Yu a payment of $200 that was given
That was an
April
oops
2
check.
of '07. But
She
ma'am,
ripped-
was that
I
a
ripped it up.
payment?
Yeah.
Was that a payment you made?
Yes, and
then you ripped
I
it up
ripped
on
it
your
up
own. Okay.
because she told me that.
But you don't know that the check wasn't good. But that's
It
what
would've
really.
bounced probably,
But
Your
what
Honor.
brings you here now?
You know why she ripped it up? She ripped up the check because I told her that she honors her tenant more than me.
So here we are now. This is why a mother would sue the daughter for the $4,000. You can't reach an
because
agreement.
I'm a sucker, Your Honor.
So you want the balance of the payment for the car.
Of course.
And that's what you want. And you want it now.
Yes.
So we're at a point now where I'm going to turn this over to these very astute and very attentive and very well-known jurors who have queries for you.
Coming up, motherly love turns sour.
She'll talk loud in
One
my
to another.
neighborhood.
You
all
do
right.
too.
Because she comes from a
ladies-
raunchy
no, but
neighborhood,
ladies-
Your Honor.
no, but
And
ladies-
you go from-
ladies.
When Jury Duty returns. You're watching Jury Duty, where Hollywood holds court.
What we have is a lawsuit here between mother and daughter. The mother is suing the daughter for $4,000, which is the unpaid balance, allegedly, of the purchase price of the car that you, plaintiff mother, sold you, defendant daughter. And that's the issue before the court. I have asked certain questions, but I did want to ask the respondent or defendant daughter, Ms. Flores, when was the last time you tried to make a payment on this car to your plaintiff mother?
April.
Okay. So that would be approximately 2 months ago.
Yeah. But I don't even think I should even pay for the car
Okay,
anymore.
I appreciate it. I understand
why
your
is
position.
that,
No, I
Amanda?
understand. Ma'am, I understand the position. But we have 3 wonderful jurors who have questions for you. Would you like to begin the querying of the litigants? Do you have a question for either the plaintiff or the defendant daughter?
Why do you say the car isn't worth anything at all anymore anyway? You implied that.
Yeah, why do you say that? Why do you say you wouldn't want to pay for it
Oh,
anyway?
why I wouldn't want to pay for
Yes,
it?
that's
Well,
what Ms.
because
Diller-
I helped take care of my mom when she had her surgery, and I was there for her, and I have to leave my family to be there for her. And so she's, pulling me through all this grief because of the vehicle, and why not?
What kind of surgery did, if I can help Ms. Diller?
She had foot surgery.
She's okay now? You all right now?
Yes, Your
Would you say
Honor.
a
But I
facelift?
paid her for that.
She had
Your
some
Honor.
foot surgery.
I paid her for that.
What kind of surgery?
Bunion
Surgery on her
surgery,
foot,
Your Honor.
but she's in
foot.
good stead now. She looks in good. They're both look in very good
Bunions.
stead.
Oh, very painful.
But
Well,
I
this
paid her
whole-
for it.
Whole
I
thing
paid her
is very
for it.
painful. But mother, you seem to be a woman of money. I mean, you have a tenant of whom daughter is jealous. I mean, because you're so lenient with the tenant. And the
But she
daughter-
has a husband.
She has a husband?
Yes.
Well, go get one.
I don't have a husband.
They're easy to, they're out there.
My husband's just put away.
You mean like dead?
No, like locked away.
Oh, he's away for a
Well,
while.
there's a messy kind of thing where.
But she still has her husband in action.
But he
that-
doesn't have to
that
take
isn't
care
what
of
this
me
is all
100%.
about.
But
It's
she
about the
sleeps with
car.
him. I don't.
It's really about the
It's
car and
about
the
the
price.
car.
And Ms.
The car
Diller,
runs well and it's worth $5,000.
It's worth
Yes.
more, Miss Diller.
Mr. Bodden, you
Well,
have
my
it.
question is, why'd you rip up the check?
Because she told me that why was I so lenient with the tenant, and she made me feel like I was a bully with her. So I told her, okay. I ripped it up, and she told me, you don't know what a job it was to write this check, and she made me feel guilty for ripping it up, but I had already ripped it up.
Okay, but I mean, when you ripped up the check, she tried to give you the money, you tore up the money, and now you're complaining that she's not giving you the money. Is that?
Yes,
plus
but
she's suing-
I
she's
have
suing for
waited
the whole
for my
amount.
tenant. I have waited for him, and I think he's a sweetheart. And at that moment, she made me feel rotten, like I was gonna go to hell for making her pay.
Would you make the tenant pay if you sold the car to the tenant?
I just asked my son to charge him. But if I ask my son to charge her, she's gonna bully him.
No, I don't. You know
She
that I
bullies
don't
him.
bully him.
She bullies
Whatever.
him. She's
That's
a
not
bully.
true. I don't
She's
bully.
a bully.
Well, mother and daughter can say that.
She'll talk loud
one
in my
to another.
neighborhood.
You
That's all
do
right.
too.
Because she comes from a
ladies-
raunchy
no, but
neighborhood,
ladies-
Your Honor.
no, but
And
ladies-
you go from-
ladies, Don't
She's a
forget, there's a
raunchy
lineage here,
neighborhood
there's a blood
person.
relationship here. And I want to move over to Sheryl Lee Ralph and see what she has on her mind for you two ladies. Miss Ralph.
You know, as a mother with a daughter that I just love, I can't imagine either one of us taking the other into court. So when I see this, I'm very sad. But listening to you both speak, I hear a lot of things going on in this conversation. But there's one thing I heard you, Amanda, mention early on that I don't think we got the full story around it. And I'd really like to know, there was something mentioned, maybe I got it wrong, but there was something about an exchange of money and a payment that ended up in Disneyland. What's that?
I gave her $200 that first week.
Yes.
She invited
And
a
that was
bunch of
pursuant to the
wait,
contract.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, you gave it to
She went ahead and said, oh, we could go ahead and use this for tickets instead. I gave her the money. Whatever she does with it, that's on her.
So that's where that came from?
Yeah. And so
That's where the Disney World or Disneyland
Yeah.
reference came from?
Yeah.
Does that help,
we
Miss
wound, we
Ralph?
wound up not, she gave me back the money, but we wound up not even going because
I
she
would've
started
wound up-
complaining to me
I
that I
would've-
got stuck in traffic and didn't get to the ceremony on time.
What ceremony?
The
The
baptism.
At Disneyland?
We were going to go to Disneyland right
Have
after.
you ever heard of a baptism and the parties in Disneyland with 10 people and she just wants to give me $200?
Right, ladies?
I don't feel that I should pay for the vehicle.
I
No.
appreciate it. I understand.
I don't.
We
I
know
don't
the
mind.
issue. The issue is crystallized.
It's
So there's no
$10,000
problem.
car.
The jury is charged, and Sergeant Yu, they're in your custody.
Mother sues daughter over a car, but the celebrities are now in the driver's seat. Eavesdrop on what they have to say when Jury Duty continues. You're watching Jury Duty, the hottest seat in Hollywood.
I remember when Phyllis gave me my first Cadillac. And Phyllis said, you know, you can pay me $1,000. And I said, Phyllis, I'm broke. And Phyllis said, I like you. She let me have it for free.
That's because you were the tenant.
Phyllis gives me a free Cadillac every year.
That's because
Which
you
is
are
very
the
nice.
tenant. And there are other skills involved here.
I'm just lenient with Alonzo.
You know, you always know that there are issues between a mother and a daughter, a mother and a child. You know there's always stuff that goes on in family. But what in the world could go on really that makes a mother bring their own child into court like that? This over a car, a '99 Cadillac.
I say we separate from that because it's obvious mother and daughter are both crazy. Just the fact that they're here, mother and daughter both nuts.
Yes.
So we separate from that and look at the legal part. I mean,
So you must not have children.
I don't have
because if
kids.
you had children, you would know that children make you nuts.
well, that's okay, but how much is that worth in court?
A whole lot, especially when you pushed them out. Thank you. But anyway, let's separate from that.
Why don't they sell the car and split the money and never speak again? I mean, it would good.
That would work out. but
Work out good.
this is what I think. I think the daughter does owe something on the car, but my problem is that the mother ripped up the check.
So in return, she made me feel guilty and I tore up the $200 payment check that she had given me.
Like if you try to pay somebody and they tear up your money, then you don't owe them that money anymore. You wrote them a check.
But
She
did
should
you-
have wrote a check for $5,000. Let mom rip that up. Then
Well,
she could have had a
Mom
free
said
car.
it would bounce.
You wouldn't take a check.
Her
wouldn't take an
checks
IOU.
bounced, Your Honor.
But, yeah,
Thank
but you don't.
That's what I was listening to.
Yes.
The mother said that she bounces more checks than the Clippers. No,
Right.
bounces more than the Clippers. Right, meaning that she's not responsible. The mother was very clear about that, and she did not trust the daughter's checks. But then I got a little bit off when they said that the check, she wanted that check to go to the baptism for Disneyland. So once again, what it says to me is there's an issue of the mother wanting the daughter to be responsible because probably they had an agreement about Disneyland and the mother didn't get that money, which was compounded because the car payment was already hanging
Yeah,
out
but
there.
you're reaching on that one because you don't know that. You don't know that. She said what the daughter said was, "I'm giving you the check for $200, which is the car payment. Once you have the money, what you do with it is up to you. That's what the daughter said.
But how do you know that's exactly what she said when maybe they had...
She said, I gave you the $200.
Just because she said it doesn't make it true.
I know, but even so, you know, to say that the daughter's irresponsible, she wrote a check for $200.
The mother said her child was irresponsible.
But she wrote a check for $200. We don't know if the check's going to bounce or not. You know, if somebody gives you a check, if I write you a check, you don't know if that check's any good until you take it to the bank.
Unless you are my child and every check that you have written to me beforehand has bounced.
Maybe
then
you
I
get
have
lucky.
a good...
You
No,
gotta
I
get
don't
to the
think
bank
so.
faster.
I don't think so. No.
I really feel that since we are stone cold up against a legal problem, that Judge Cutler is going to have to decide.
Can the jurors render a verdict in this family feud, or will they pass the burden on to Judge Cutler? Find out next on Jury Duty. You're watching Jury Duty. Don't even try getting out of it.
Sergeant Yu, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Would you hand the verdict over to Sergeant Yu, Ms. Diller? Thank you so much. I wanted to thank you all, Ms. Diller and Mr. Bodden and Ms. Ralph, for being with us today in this case, which is about family and money and cars and life. And you've given some devoted service to us, and I want to thank you for it. The jury has spoken here, and they rule for the plaintiff, Sanchez, in the amount of $3,800. And what that means for you is that you sold your car to your daughter. She made payments of $1,000 down payment. She tried to make a $200 payment. You ripped it up. So she can keep the car, Ms. Flores. You can keep the car that you bought legally, but you must pay the $200 per month in accord with the contract in order to keep the car. So the jury has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. I agree with this verdict. You in good faith agreed to buy the car from your mother. Your mother in good faith agreed to sell you the car. Then something came between you. Whether it's the tenant, whether it's Disneyland, whether it's a check that bounced, I don't know. The car is worth $5,000. You owe $3,800. The jury has spoken. Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Erika Sanchez has won the lawsuit against her own daughter, Amanda Flores. The jury sided with the mother, awarding her $3,800.
In the end, justice was served because it's not about the tenant in the other room. It is not about Mama's bunions. It's not about the trip to Arizona. It is not about Disneyland. It's about she bought the car. She agreed to pay the car. Mama tore up the check. That $200's in the garbage. She owes $3,800. Case done.
It's very unusual for a mother and daughter to go to court. However, in this case, they have so many undecided and unresolved differences and little problems between them that they should take a vacation from each other. And when they get back together, to hire an adjudicator to, you know, he should wear a striped shirt and decide on all these issues.
Personally, I'd pay $3,800 to not be here and listen to this today, because these two people are obviously crazy. My best moment of the day was listening to Phyllis use adjudicator in a sentence. That's why I'm here.
Today's show has been brought to you by Ricardo Beverly Hills Del Mar Light, now 30% lighter. Ballistic strength multi-compartment wheel aboard and towed. Fashion luggage designed for the serious traveler. Ricardo Beverly Hills.